All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you for 9 minutes with me all over Facebook, IGTV, and YouTube. You can hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports, and of course, the ML Sports Platter podcast. You can download and subscribe all over the major platforms where you get your podcasts, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review and, of course, some feedback. Really appreciate that. We're supported here by Empower Federal Credit Union, Sit Mean Sit Syracuse, Bryant Stratton College, and our great friends at Hides of Liverpool. If you're in and around Central New York, you're home visiting family and friends, get on over to Hides of Liverpool. The most delicious Hoffman hot dog you'll ever eat off the grill. They have sides like mac and cheese. They've got grilled cheese, chicken tenders, Philly steaks. They have chocolate milk for the kids, and grab some brownies and cookies to go as well for dessert. Hides of Liverpool, serving Central New York for decades, and a Central New York staple. Well, this is now the day after the unbelievable, the unspeakable, senseless, just insane tragedy that happened out in California yesterday with 9 people on board a helicopter, of course, crashing. It was foggy weather and all the rest, and apparently today some more reports came about that, it kind of tried to rise and it spiraled down. I just can't even imagine the people on that thing and what they were going through. And those 9 people obviously included Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi, and of course John Altobelli from the West Coast, who was a junior college baseball coach who accomplished some amazing things, 700-plus wins and a plethora of postseason awards and accolades. And look, at this point, you can read everything you want. You can watch everything you want. Last night, I found myself completely and utterly obsessed with watching the coverage on ESPN, which, by the way, I thought was an amazing job by the likes of Scott Van Pelt and Stephen A. Smith and Michael Wilbon and Robert Roberts and Michael Strahan and Tom Rinaldi, and the list goes on and on and on. I felt myself compelled and obsessed with this in watching and all that, and I sent out a tweet that said simply, pretty close to, I can't stop watching, I can't stop reading, I can't stop browsing Twitter, and I'm not going to be able to say anything that hasn't already been said, which is, the same thing goes with this video. But the only thing I can say is that I wish it wasn't true. And today, it just is the same exact feeling today. I just, I'm eating lunch and I think about Kobe, and I'm eating lunch and I think about the young girls on that helicopter. I mean, just starting their life with so many things, so many futuristic things to accomplish. Kobe's kid would have easily been a Division I basketball player. And I've heard some people say that, well, we're talking about basketball too much. Bullshit. Those two connected. Kobe and his daughter, their number one connection was basketball. The Mamba Academy, Kobe coaching her, coaching the team, that was their blood together. And if you watch videos out there of Kobe doing his turnaround jump shot that was modeled after Michael Jordan, Gigi copied that shot, and they loved the game together. And the video that's gone viral with them in the front row talking about the game of basketball, I'm getting chills right now talking about this in behind me, up and down my back. I mean, this is just an unspeakable, senseless situation, and so sad. And I cannot imagine, again, those folks in that helicopter knowing that they're going down and possibly dying together. It's unbelievable. Vanessa Bryant, to lose her husband and to lose a daughter at the same exact time, at the same exact day, and to have to raise the rest of the kids having lost a sister and a father, is unbearable. The same thing with the Altobelli family, and of course the other 4 who I don't know. Certainly, thoughts, prayers, and everything going out to them as well. And that's one of many takes that I want to have here in this video. I do kind of want to give my own spin to it and just kind of some thoughts in that. There's 9 lives here; they're all equal, and they were all lost, and it's very, very sad. But the obvious thing is that Kobe Bryant is the biggest name of them all because he's known from a public situation. And I talked yesterday when I was doing a Bryant Stratton College women's game. I was doing some public address. I turned around and talked to a lot of the guys on the men's team. And I was like, you guys kind of grew up with this guy, as did I. You guys grew up with the second half. I'm 40 years old, and I was in high school when this guy came on the scene. He changed the game. He was an unbelievable pioneer in terms of going from high school at Lower Merion in Philly right to the NBA. And, he's one of those athletes who we grew together with. And I think that's one of the big things that I'm hearing a lot of people with, we shouldn't, grieve and go crazy over an athlete because, we don't know him and all that. And I just think that's ridiculous. You look up to a guy or you go watch him play or he influenced you or, maybe you met him. Maybe you didn't meet him. It doesn't matter. You live through it and you kind of grow together with that athlete. And, I just think people at this particular time. It just shows you the society that we're in with the cesspool stuff and the negativity and all that, criticizing how people are supposed to respond and send condolences and all that sort of thing is mind-boggling to me. But Kobe was a pioneer. He's a global icon. I don't know as if there's a city and an athlete more connected with one another. Maybe a Derek Jeter in New York, maybe. But Kobe, right now is probably more LA than even Magic Johnson and Shaq O'Neal have ever been. Maybe more than Jerry West ever was. Maybe more than LeBron will ever be. He just transcended the game a lot. I think when you talk about most important players in the game's history, we go down Michael Jordan Boulevard, Steph Curry, Bill Russell, etc. Kobe, he is in that group. However you want to slice it, he's in that group. The China impact, playing for Team USA, the global reach that he had. All the young kids right now that are maybe playing JUCO basketball or high school, they grew up as little kids fantasizing to be Kobe Bryant. You listen to a lot of the NBA guys yesterday talk about the influence that Kobe had. It's really remarkable. It really is. And as far as legacy goes, we know the basketball part. We know about the 5 rings. We know about all the points. We know about the MVP. We know about the finals MVPs, et cetera, et cetera. But it was what he was maybe going to do beyond basketball with all the children's movies and the books and the narratives. And, he had already won an Oscar, and perhaps there was more down the pipeline. Maybe he would have created his own basketball line of clothing, perhaps movie after movie after movie. We know the coaching with the Mamba Academy, all that stuff would have happened. This reminds me a little bit of a few other things, but I think the Kobe thing, as far as my lifetime, I think this is the greatest sporting / entertainment death that we've had in a shocking type of way. We kind of knew that Muhammad Ali was coming. We knew that a lot of other things were coming. Payne Stewart was unexpected. Dale Earnhardt Jr. happened right on the racetrack. We had Len Bias. We had Reggie Lewis. We've had Hank Gathers. We've had a lot of those things going on. I've been talking with a lot of people who grew up with the Thurman Munson thing. That's very comparable in a non-sports kind of way. This kind of reminds me of Princess Diana, a very, very comparable situation. They're totally unexpected. Everybody had the exact same thought in the beginning, which was total disbelief. Please let this not be true. And I think when you look at Kobe Bryant and you look at a lot of the other people, who were on that helicopter as well, and just kind of the way people responded immediately was, please don't let it be true. TMZ has been right pretty much every time, but in this particular case, please let the facts be wrong, or let the reports be wrong. And that leads me to the way this was covered journalistically. TMZ got it right. I don't agree with, putting it out there before the families knew. That was kind of a bullshit way to do it. But tweeting it and knowing that it's right and knowing that it's real, I don't have a problem with that, because that's our new way of technology today. That's a new way of reporting. But then other people kind of coming into the scene and doing things the wrong way and tweeting out things before they know all the facts, and ABC News saying that all the Bryant daughters were on the helicopter and then having to backtrack and then having to call people and say, oh, well, actually, your relatives are actually alive. That kind of stuff is just amazing to me. So if you're a journalism student, take yesterday also as a learning experience, to get all the facts right. Being first is not always right, and not always going to make you famous. Being first can actually be the worst thing possible as well if you are not factually correct. And that's what I would tell journalism students and all the rest, is to get everything right in front of you, and then send it out. I also have no problem with media people and just regular people sending out condolences and doing their own thing or sharing a memory and all that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think media people are trying to go out there and tweet the news. They're just simply tweeting sadness and certainly being, very, very warm in terms of thinking about the families and all that of the people, who were lost, and of course people in general who were lost. But just a terrible day. 9 people die, helicopter crash just outside of LA, and Kobe Bryant, a part of that horrible tragedy. And I just think Kobe's reach, his global impact, his amazing future that he had ahead of him is just so sad. And of course, on top of that, the fact that he and his daughter went together. Terrible stuff.